Well, hey everyone, my name is Murray, welcome to the video. Today we're going to do something a little different. Recently, or probably in the last year or so, I'm kind of a little slow behind the train, behind everyone else, but oh well. A lot of people have been doing these like reviews, like editor reacts to this or filmmaker reacts to that. Well, I'm going to do one of those, and just because a lot of people have been asking for reviews and how to do specific things with editing or how people shot something. So in this example, we're going to take a look at how some people did this ad, and it's a lot of it is stop motion, but I got a request saying let's know how to do that, and so I'm going to show you guys how, or at least how I would have tackled it, and maybe how they did some of the effects and how they shot it. But yeah, I get a lot of requests like this from you guys, so I'm going to see if I can do more of these kind of breakdown shots or scenes in films, or how to edit something that someone did really well, stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at this, and here it is with my reaction for the first time. I kind of went halfway through it and was like, ooh, I shouldn't watch this, I should watch it live and kind of see what my reaction would be. And if this makes a great video, I'll post it. Cool. So let's take a look. Alright, so this is on Instagram. The video was sent to me on Instagram, so I saved it for later, and here it is right here. But go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you're interested in a lot of the posts that I do, so a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well. But let's check out and see what this video is all about. Wow. Okay, some clever angle trickery there. That's nice. Wow. Whoa. Whoa. That's pretty crazy. Wow. Well, let's start breaking it from the beginning. I've got it in Premiere Pro here, and let's just see what we got here. So this also helps me analyze it frame by frame if I want to. So let's take a look at the first part here. All right, so that's I'm gonna turn this audio off for just a second. That looks like it's done so well that it's not stop motion, but looks stop motion. Let's take a look real quick. So it looks almost like a combination between stop motion and regular footage. My guess, and the way I would have shot this bottle falling in, would be I would shoot it at 23 frames per second or something like that, throw the bottle in and let it fall in. It may have taken quite a few attempts for it to land like it has here. It's possible for the bottle to fall like that. If they did it with stop motion, it's done very well. But the way I would have shot this intro sequence, literally the first, what's this, 2 seconds of the video, maybe 3, is I would have shot it by throwing the bottle in, recording it with video in 23 frames per second. So after I've shot the footage, I would probably put it into Premiere Pro, and I would slow it down to maybe 40%. Obviously that's going to be pretty jerky and it's not going to be that smooth, but that's totally part of the whole thing. So after I've slowed that video down by about 40%, I would then nest it, and then that video layer, I'll bring it back up to 100%. So I reduced the speed by 60%. So in this nested sequence, I would then speed it up by 60%. So this nested sequence would be essentially 160% when you go to its time and remapping. So that would bring it back up to 100% speed initially from the beginning, but it would be like dropping frames. So that's probably one of the most simplest ways you can shoot that in video format and then kind of convert it to stop motion type of feel. But let's take a look and see the rest of this here. Let me turn the audio back on. Okay, so that's not very difficult. So clearly what they did is they scrunched up a bottle, and then put it in, took a photo, took it back out, blew a little bit of air in it so that it could expand just a little bit, put it back in the shot, and then repeat that process. So that's pretty straightforward there. Now that's very tricky. Let's take a look here. Let's analyze this. So this arm coming in, that's very easy. All you have to do is literally just take a photo as you bring your arm in, just like regular stop motion. I'm trying to see if they used something to suspend this bottle. So clearly it's photo or stop motion. I'm not sure how they suspended it. It wouldn't be too difficult to, let's say, attach a maybe a piece of wire or even a string to either ends of the bottle and suspend it that way and just remove that in post. That wouldn't be very difficult because on the ends here there's nothing underneath, so that object removal would be pretty easy. What I'm looking for here, if I just zoom in a bit, what I'm looking for is if there's anything on the edges here that would indicate that something was there. So if I just go down, up and down a few frames, I don't see anything being removed on the edges here, which is done very well if it has. So very interesting there. I probably would have used something to suspend the bottle and use stop motion for that. So you can see here that the bottles kind of crumble. Okay, so it's not an individual process from the full bottles to them being cut up. It's just one night and day difference. So this is where they're all together and this is where they're all cut up. So they literally just took another shot, cut them all up, and then reposition them back in kind of in the same shape as before. So that's not too difficult. Again, that's stop motion. I want to see how they... See, again, like the process before, they could have shot him actually taking the things out, taking the caps out of the trash and throwing it away, slowed that down, nested it, then sped that back up by the same amount of percentage as they slowed it down, and they would have a stop motion type of feel, turning video into stop motion. Then again, if they did true stop motion, they would have actually shot this in stop motion. They would have suspended the bottle caps as it went out and did stop motion, took a shot, moved the bottle cap, took another shot, moved the bottle cap, took a shot, moved the bottle cap. The same with the hand as well. So it does get a little more tricky, but sometimes the results can be a lot more satisfying, mostly because you've spent so much time doing it, it feels really good, and it looks like true stop motion. Now this little trick here is very interesting. When you see him starting to pull the string out, the pieces of bottle go closer together. Again, that's normal stop motion. When he pulls the string out, very interesting how right now there's probably not a ball of yarn underneath that up until here. So right here, they put the ball of yarn and they put the stuff around it, or the trash around it, and that wasn't too difficult. And they kind of gave it a little bounce, suspended a bit, and then let it drop and let it roll. Again, normal stop motion there, I would assume. And then again, this is another bit of stop motion where they just unravel it. Yeah, that's definitely stop motion. It's not video converted down to stop motion. Normal stop motion. And okay, and then this is where they make the shape of all the balls of yarn. So if you would imagine one here, imagine one here, imagine one here, they kind of took the shape of the string and kind of outlined it a little bit to help the transition a little more, because it's one frame there's nothing there and the next frame is there. So these little outlines here kind of help people adjust to that transition. Again, they also add a bit of movement to help kind of ease that in, which is definitely very useful. Again, here, this is more stop motion where he picks it up. It also makes it easy to remove the balls of yarn later. What I think they did, and I could be wrong. What I think they did is, once they finished the balls of yarn from moving, I think they took out these 4 or 6 actually, these 6 balls of yarn, left these ones so that once they took the ball of yarn over the other 2, they would just mask it out. Or actually, that's one way they could do it, but it looks like here they actually did use stop motion. Now that first process of masking and taking it out would have taken a bit longer actually. But what I think they did actually is picked up the ball of yarn, and at one point the guy who's holding the ball of yarn stays extremely still whilst they take that ball of yarn underneath, and then he continues, and they do the same thing with that, and then the same with all the rest. Let's see here. Yeah, for sure. They did just take it out when he was pausing his hand. Okay, so that solves that. Next, this is again stop motion of him unraveling it. And they really reduced the size of those yarns, which is hard to do. I mean, that's a lot of yarn wastage. And this whole video is about saving the environment. Oh well. Anything for the videos, right? So again, stop motion. This part is interesting. So already the black is a part of the green. They're not two separate, well, they're two separate fabrics, but they're already seamed together or sealed together, whatever you call it, stitched. So they're not two different fabrics on the table. They're sewed together as one. This is very interesting. Okay, so it's just another cut. So what he did was, with this, what's this, rectangular shape of the yarn or fabric, he's kind of flicked it, it's gotten a ripple down it, and then what he's done with the one that's cut into the shape of the backpack, he's done the same thing, so that halfway through both motions, they cut it and they stitch it together and it's seamless. So that's a very easy transition to make. Now this one's also a little interesting, stop motion for sure. They've just got a green fabric underneath. As he moves his finger, they reveal more of the tab. Same thing for the other one. And then for this one, this isn't too difficult. Probably what they did with, when he's halfway down, or at least when he's starting to drag the handle out, he's probably got the rest of the handle underneath his hand so that you can't see it. And as they go with stop motion, he reveals a bit more of it. So that's not too difficult. That's also easy, just stop motion putting those on. Throws that down onto the backpack. Okay, and so what they've done here with this backpack is they've scrunched the backpack down, because it's just it's basically one frame difference. So once they took out this fabric, they put the backpack in, it's shoved down, kind of pressed down against the table or floor, whatever they're shooting on. And then as they go further down, they kind of add space to the backpack. Maybe they added some foam into it, or just stuffed a bunch of clothes or fabric in it. Whichever process they used to kind of stuff the backpack, that's kind of how they did it. Again, that was stop motion. Add some motion to the backpack. Not too difficult. Then when they add motion to it, especially when they're rolling the backpack, what they do is they go one way first, just a little bit, and then they go the other way to kind of, as if using some force to turn it. And that's something that's very important when it comes to motion with stop motion. Motion with stop motion? Funny way of phrasing it. But it helps emphasize the movement a little bit, especially when it's kind of jerky and stuff. It adds a bit of smooth, if you could say smooth fluidness to the motion, even though it's stop motion. It just kind of helps sell the effect a little more. They turn the backpack, not too difficult. And then once they turn it back again, it's got all these stickers and things attached to it. Just what they did was, when the backpack, or the front or the back of the backpack over here is not visible, when it's hidden, that's when they add all the trinkets and things, and then it's turned over on the next side and you see all those there. Again, they overturn it and then they bring it back to help emphasize that movement. So then he grabs the backpack, stop motion. Again, this is part of editing. Looks like they faded it in and they've just added a mask to the text. So you can see they've cut the text out, or they've cut the bag out on the top part and overlaid it with the text. So not too difficult. They faded the sides in. That's fine. Cool. And then that's about it. Bottles are better in bag form. Cool ad. It's really awesome that they are recycling, getting the whole message across that they're turning bottles into bags. Or at least that's what I've got from this message. It's very clever. Bellroy, I assume that's a brand for a bag line of some kind. I haven't done my research on what that is. But a very interesting way on showing people the process of how this company makes their backpacks and how they recycle things in that process. So a very awesome way to help show people the environmental friendliness of the company. But this storytelling process in the stop motion is also done very well. You kind of see the whole process of the backpack, and it's all really it's done really well. Towards the end, it comes to a close, and you see really what the message is all about. It kind of solidifies the story and the filmmaking at the same time. So when they've combined the story with this as well as great filmmaking, it makes for a really good ad or just art piece in general. So that's super awesome. If you guys enjoyed videos like this, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think I should take a look at. Maybe there's a really awesome piece that you guys have seen that I might have not seen that we can break down together and kind of figure things out. If there are ways in this video that you would tackle that I haven't mentioned, mention those down below, because there's a lot of people who are going to kind of see that and be like, oh, that's a great way to kind of do it. Also, I'd like to know how you guys would tackle this situation. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. It'd really help the channel out. And leave a subscribe. That would also be really cool. It kind of helps push the videos in front of other people, kind of show more of the filmmaking community the videos that I create. I really do appreciate the support. But yeah, until next time, remember, keep smiling, keep shooting.
There goes nothing.